y'all! Welcome to Caliber's Aerospine and Tackle, better known as C.A.S.T, brought to you by Second Amendment Outdoors in Corinth, Mississippi. In this podcast, we sit down with influential voices from the outdoor industry to bring you authentic conversations that connect sportsmen of all seasons. From bow hunting for whitetail to crappie fishing on the lake, spring turkey hunting to chasing rabbit and squirrel, we cover it all. Our focus is on real people sharing real stories about conservation. We can't wait to join you on this journey and dive into the world of the outdoors together.
Second Amendment Outdoors, here we are. As you saw in the intro, we're going to be talking about TAC. Thomas, my co-host, who you'll be seeing more often. We went up to TAC, checked it out at Belvedere. It was a muddy mess. But we'll get to that, right? So, what we're going to do is start out with our day prior and how that all began. So, how would you say our day began?
I went great. You know, we have to come into work, and then we're giddy little girls the whole day, ready to leave. And we pulled out of here. Luckily, we were able to leave right at 6 o'clock, and we haultailed to Belvedere, Tennessee.
Yeah, where we, after a few stops, because got to eat, grab some waters, grab some snacks.
Yeah, the essentials.
Never know what you're going to be up against. Roll in at 10 o'clock at night.
Nobody is awake.
Nobody is awake. There is not a bonfire to be seen, not a nothing, not a person.
Just muddy.
Muddy, wide open, muddy field. We just got out, and I don't know if you want to check out the TikTok videos. I got a couple of videos. It looked, because the day before it had poured, and on Friday.
Yeah, so the two storms that we got here Friday and Saturday, they also got. So I mean, it just piled on, and they, you know, we had people saying that Saturday they couldn't finish the course because it became unsafe and it was just raining so hard. And you've got thousands of people walking around.
Oh yeah.
Plus their vehicles parking. I mean, it was just a muddy mess.
Yeah, we had trucks stuck on flat level ground. They were bringing other trucks. They had tractors with chains to pull trucks out of the lot. I mean, it was a muddy mess.
That place will take a while to recover. Even though it's a horse ranch and that's what they do there and side by sides, I don't think they were prepared for something like that.
No.
Which you can't be.
Well, 2 years ago, they had TAC at the same location, and I think the year before that. But last year, they moved it to Atlanta. So, and each year it's been growing. So I wouldn't doubt that this year probably topped their numbers.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
that's the most people, you know, granted, I've only been to two of them, but I was very happy with the amount of people that were there on Sunday.
On Sunday.
Because, you know, in Indiana last year, there may have been, I mean, there wasn't even a quarter of that there on Sunday, which it may be because of the heat. You know, it wasn't hot that weekend, which was great. Yeah, it was muddy and nasty, but it was, what, in the 50s?
Yeah.
You had to wear a hoodie.
Yeah.
It was cloudy and windy.
Even with the hiking, you could wear your hoodie.
Yep.
But thank God we had the hoodies.
Oh, gosh.
10 o'clock at night, we roll in, decide, okay, we're just going to sleep in the truck. We ain't going to splurge for a hotel or nothing like that. We're cheap.
The hard way.
Yep. So we lay out in the truck, and it starts to get cold. To the point where both of us were like shivering, but neither of us wanted to say we was cold. Till I reached in and pulled out my Mountain Ops blankie. That whoopee that Mountain Ops offers if you buy like a certain amount of stuff. I'm telling you, if they ever offer it again, get it.
If Mountain Ops, if you watch this somehow, bring it back.
Oh man, that thing.
It was a lifesaver.
We were in a Dodge Dually with a full-size center console, and this thing was enough to cover from me all the way over to him, shins up to chest, and enough to keep you warm.
Yep, it was perfect.
Yeah, just enough. Good for sleeping, and then the rooster started crowing.
It was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like wide awake at this point. because you're not exactly. I mean, you're comfortable, but you're not. But you're excited too. So somehow, I mean, I think it took me another hour to get back to sleep after we woke up.
Then the generator running out of gas.
Yeah, and then the generator ran out, and then it became awkwardly silent. And then the next thing I remember is waking up and it being daylight.
Yeah.
And then all your reps, all the guys that are working trailers started coming in early, getting set up for the day.
And we had parked right behind the Hoyt Trail.
Oh, it was perfect.
I mean, we were right near the entrance of the
Yeah,
gate.
we were 10 yards.
When we rolled in, there was nobody there, so we had our choice of parking.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
And we had pure grass to get over to the muddy mess that was the vendors area.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It was wild as far as the mud and in the terrain that we were having to walk around on.
So that was our adventure getting there. We've been setting up for months for this.
Yeah.
Months and months and months. So you want to run through your setup? What are you shooting?
I was running the Hoyt AX2, 80 pounds at 28 3/4 inch draw.
What's the axle on that?
The 32 inch.
Yeah.
The 32 inch. Shooting the HLR as light as I could make it. I actually I don't like them, but I used the hit insert from Easton because they're like, 15 grains, super light,
Yeah.
straight fill point. I think my arrow was at like 389. I mean, it was screaming. I don't know how fast it was shooting. We never did. I was running the HHA Nitrix 2-pin. I like the HHAs. They're set up so good. They're clear. They're easy to use. It did me well. I was a little off on some of my yardages. I end up, just throughout the shoot learning. Hey, I need to cut a little yards, especially like you're shooting up and down on these hard angles. You got to give or take. But overall, I mean, the arrow was flying good.
What'd you have on the front of it? 10-degree down?
Yeah, I have running a 10-degree down.
You had the mountain light stabilizer.
Yeah, the AAE mountain light stabilizer on the front. Yes, a 10-inch.
Yep.
No back bar, no back bar, sidebar, anything like that. Man, those bows hold so good. Just for me, anyways. I felt like I didn't need it.
Release was
Running the Stan Solix clicker.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
So you have the regular one. It's basically an index with a clicker. I like it. It works well. I was getting a little bit of target panic, but that was just me.
And then starting to work through it.
Yeah.
Starting to get comfortable.
Yeah, about the last 10 shots, I finally it went away, or I started really focusing on it,
Or you're just so tired you didn't care.
Yeah, it may have been that. I may have been punching the crap out of it by that time. I mean, everybody was wore out.
Oh yeah.
You're hiking and climbing, but everything turned out well. Everything functioned properly. My bow's never been that dirty.
No.
That really drove me nuts. I really need to get in here and clean it. I mean, just muddy. Arrows are muddy. You've got mud all over your hands. Looking for arrows in the woods, in the ground when you shoot them. I mean, it was nasty. There's mud everywhere.
So I was running the Prime Form, 34-inch axle. Midnight blue with the Recon gray limbs. They custom did the colors for me.
Everybody loves your bow.
Everybody.
That's seen
Yeah,
loved it.
everybody did talk about it. I'm running the driver's sight, for myself, and I got it in the gray to match the Recon gray on the limbs. The strings are actually from Gas. And Destiny, if you're watching, and Aaron, you guys did an awesome job. Thank you for matching the colors. They did the gunmetal and I think it's a royal blue twist. Those things looked amazing. And there I had my Hamsky rest. Blake, you were running the Hamsky.
I was also running,
Yep, both of us were running the Epsilon limb-driven rest. And had my Redline quick disconnect and my Redline 10-inch stabilizer on it. I tried shooting the whippersnapper for a little bit. It's just a little small in my hand for what we were doing. So I got the UltraView blackout, one of the limited edition blackouts. And that thing started working really good for me. I could find my anchor good, and I could just feel it go whenever it was going. We have some shots of us shooting. What I'm going to do is, at the end of this, I have, what do we have, like 4 or 5 vendors we stopped and talked to?
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Yeah, we have about 4 or 5 vendors we stopped and talked to.
Everybody that we sell their product in store.
Yeah, the stuff that
it wasn't random stuff. It was people that we've seen it. We've put our hands on it. We have it in the store. So I thought that was really cool. I got to meet some of those guys for the first time and talk to them and about their product and how they got started. That was really neat.
Yeah, and you find out who they are.
Yeah.
It's just not a vendor on the phone or somebody you drop an order to, you know, through a rep or something like that. It was good to meet the actual vendor face to face, find out what they've got to offer, what they're doing, you know, maybe even a little insider trip, you know, see stuff on coming out soon, you know, and getting to meet Brad from Boning.
Yeah, that was cool.
We didn't get a bunch of video with him. We did get a couple pictures, but sitting down with Brad from Boning and getting him a little more insight on the Alphas and the Atlas, you know, on their vein technology and, you know, just being able to find that out.
Yeah.
And I got one of those pocket quivers from Boning. Instead of carrying my big...
Yeah, you ran that all day, didn't you?
Yeah, I had it in my back pocket, 6 arrows, sticking up, had my backpack on with my extra arrows in a tube in the backpack, and it never got in the way.
So it never fell out?
No.
It didn't act like it was going to fall out, even with all the hiking and stuff we were doing? Like it seemed to stay in your pocket and do exactly what it's supposed to do.
So, Brad, if you're watching, expect an order. We're going to be bringing some in store. Those things were good.
Yeah.
But other than that, we took some of the videos with those people, and what we're going to do is at the end of this, we're going to kind of make a montage, a couple of videos, one after another. I'll do a little text in there so you know who they are. And actually ran into Eric from Southeastern Bowhunter Podcast.
Oh.
He was one of my influences on getting into the podcast stuff, and I had chatted with him a lot of times on how this is set up and how we can do it. And, you know, he was a big influence on me moving forward and actually us working together and getting this done. Who else did we run into?
All kinds of people. You know, we got to meet, or I finally got to meet the boutique guy that makes the wraps.
Yeah, Mike Stone. Yeah, Stonebreaker. Yeah, Mike Stonebreaker.
Super cool guy, super nice. He was kind of running around. He was pushed for time Sunday, which I understand. That's how it is, kind of towards the end of the week. But that was really cool to kind of chit chat with him and see the new wraps that he's looking at. You know, and talking about the investments he's made to help him make those wraps.
Right.
Is really cool.
Starting with like a regular single printer.
Yeah.
To upgrading and now going to bigger projects and finding out that, you know, there's stages in this that investments need to be made.
Yeah.
You need to, and you gamble. You have to roll the dice when you do this too sometimes.
Yeah, and it's worked out for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he does a great job. The wraps look good. They work well. We sell them here. I think he's going to do well.
Yeah.
And they seem to hold up. They don't really seem to fall apart on you or mess your arrow up or anything. So I like.
They're not very heavy like some of the wraps.
No, they're not going to add a ton of weight to the back end of it. So
well, I was running the Easton 5.0s with a wrap on the back and the Alphas.
Yeah.
So my total arrow was 367, 368, I think it was, right in there. And my bow, by the way, sorry, I'm shooting 60 pounds because I don't want to have rotator cuff surgery. Not getting any younger. Not Mr. 80-pound overhead. How was your knot in your shoulder the next day?
It was good. I mean, it's just a knot. Like it could have been from having the backpack on. I'm sure some of it was from drawing.
Yeah.
But there was no point during that where I was like, man, this is too much.
No.
If I felt solid all
plus
day.
the hype, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like you're excited. You're excited. People are watching you. I mean, at one point, you know, there's a couple shots where you're looking at 100 yards, 90 yards, and there's 10, 12 people standing behind, all silent, like a golf match, waiting on you to shoot this arrow. So you don't really, I mean, you've got to be amped up, kind of. You know,
you don't want to be from where?
You don't want to be from Mississippi. Shout out to our buddy Timber. We ended up meeting up with a group of guys there. Was he 10 with his granddad?
He's like 7 or 10 or something.
Yeah,
he was young.
Yeah, very young, but super fun kid. Had a good attitude about everything. Was willing to shoot his Bear Pathfinder 70, 80 yards straight up in the air.
And came close a bunch of times.
Definitely, the kid is a walking rangefinder. I know anything. It seemed like anything 70 yards and in, he would be 5, 6 yards off from what it actually was. I was kind of impressed, like, because after a while you get used to seeing the distance, you can pick it out. But just somebody that young that's not had that much experience in it, I was impressed. But he was a good time. He did get me with the Mississippi joke. It was funny.
We actually had our knock time, noon, got all our gear together, made our way out to the course, got on our spot, and it was just me and Thomas. And these two gentlemen just walked up, and they had a young man with them, and they were like, "Do you mind if we all shoot together?" And we're like, "Well, we don't care. It doesn't matter to us.
Makes it better.
As long as you're good with it." And they're like, "Yeah, we don't really keep score. We just go to shoot." And we're like, even better.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have fun. We're not trying to outpoint each other's scores. It doesn't matter. We just want to have fun and shoot.
My goal going to that stuff is just make a good shot. You know, whether it be more of a hunting style shot or at some point in distance, hey, just put it in the animal.
Yeah.
You know, put it in the insert, and who cares?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a competition at any point
And
during
these
that.
aren't live animals we're shooting.
No.
This is practice for such occasions and seeing what we need to fine tune and work on.
Yeah.
But
definitely a true like applicable hunting scenario. All right, there's an animal downhill of you, getting your anchor right, and then pointing way down or pointing high up, or shooting on the side of a hill where you actually see how your bow's, without even knowing it, like you're going to lean with the hill and you've got to lean it back. Like it's a great test to.
It's stuff you can't do in the range.
No, you can't do it on flat ground. It's a great test to your ability to shoot.
It's not going to happen in your backyard.
No. The closest thing you might get to is if you can get up on some type of elevated platform or shoot down like you would be just a regular hunt.
Right. Yeah. So JJ and Brian with Timber walked up, and we were like, glad to have you. And we started shooting. We started moving. I think we moved down like 5 targets, and we would get clear of our target, and we would hear one arrow hit, thump. And then this other person would walk up behind us, and he'd have to wait because we're 4 adults. And Timber, he took some time.
Yeah.
It's good that he took his time.
Yeah.
He took his time, made his shots, and it was actually impressive to watch. He just didn't get up there and sling an arrow.
No.
He was actually working on it.
Yeah.
It was great to see that him and his grandpa have that communication.
Yeah, you could tell they've worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he's still young. He got a lot to growing into it, but yeah, it was fun watching that and seeing that.
So this one gentleman, we were gonna either let him pass or we were like, hey, you want to just join us? And Josh Lawler, I just want to shout out, hey, thanks for joining the group. Yeah. And we got to know Josh and have a good time. And
it went smooth. The bad thing is that some of these big groups, you get hung up in these, whether it's from the hiking, slowing everybody down, which I think that was some of it, why it took so long to complete the course.
Yeah.
Because you had to be careful. But then you get some big groups where there's 8 or 10 and they're all not really joking, but it just takes time. And it was nice being a smaller group. We never really ran into a roadblock where we had to sit and wait.
No.
No. So that was nice.
But I mean, while we're talking, and I'll post the video. I'll put the video right in here somewhere. When you're walking, it was soupy, muddy mess. Because you're on day 3, 2 of those days pouring rain, hiking through these really narrow trails, wide open trails that have just been inundated with rain.
Been beat down.
I will say, I will give a shout out to Crispy Boot, because I wore my Crispy altitudes, and the next day they cleaned right up. I hit them with the hose.
That's fine. Notice, look like you pressure washed them off. They cleaned up well.
All I did was hit them with the hose, man, and I mean, that's not bad for just hitting them with the hose.
Yeah.
But I will say, I talked to the rep when they first came here, and he said how stiff the bottoms are on these, and when you're climbing, you'll feel like you're stepping onto a platform. And I noticed that when I dug these in, it was like I was standing on a platform. I didn't get that give or roll underneath my foot. And then once I got them double knotted up and tied in, they never moved. And all the muck and mud and yuck, my feet were never wet. The only time they were wet is when I took them off so it didn't get me in your truck and I stepped on the running board.
Yeah.
Then my socks were wet.
Yeah.
But other than that, my feet were dry all day.
Yeah. I will say the boots I was wearing did a good job. I don't think I had wet feet. I had a wet butt. I did slip and fall.
Yes.
About halfway through the course, so I had a wet butt. That was real fun. But I don't know if I've ever been a part of something so muddy.
No.
I mean, it looked like a mud bog. It was insane. And I knew it going into it too.
Yeah, it wasn't. We got there knowing that there was going to be mud.
It's going to be nasty. Yeah.
And people had put up videos and made talks on it's going to be muddy.
Yeah.
So it was. But then while we were walking around, we got to meet this guy, MFJJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
He stopped. We talked. It was good to see him, and he was there on day 3.
Yeah, it was cool to see. So a lot of these guys, whether they're influencers or YouTubers or Instagrammers, I don't know what you call them, but it's cool to see them there on the Sunday. Most of the time, they'll make appearance Friday, Saturday. Hey, I got to go on Sunday. But they had their grand opening for the shop, so it was nice. Got to see him, Tim Connor, Brandon McDonald.
You got your picture with
James from Bow Disciple.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a cool guy. Got to.
He stood there and talked with us for quite a bit.
He did. We got to run into them at the
Didn't make you hide your height, no.
No, he didn't make it. He said I could. He said I could hold it up, but I let it down.
Yeah.
But it was cool because Brianna, his wife, she shot a Tulu at a turkey and zipped right through it and killed it. And we were there, happened to talking to them too. So it was really cool moment to see it.
And to see that we have all these people in common that we talk to all the time.
Yeah.
These vendors, they talk to everybody and they deal with the influencers, the shops, the manufacturers. All this stuff all comes together.
Yeah.
And we all deal with the same people. And it's great to see.
Yeah.
What else did we run into while we were there? I'm trying to think. There he is. Yes, yeah.
Yeah. We ran into people from the shop, so that was really cool. Customers.
Brent was there.
Yeah,
Brent.
Yeah.
And then Zach, we ran into Zach. He's Everyday Sportsman on YouTube. I'll post his little snippet video at the end too.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
It was a great venue. That's the first time I've been there.
My breakfast was clutch.
Yeah, breakfast was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really nice place that they could offer that, have a place to go sit down, get you some coffee, a good breakfast in before you start hiking around. I really liked that place. That was my first time being there. I hope they go back. You just never know.
Yeah, definitely do it again next year.
But definitely we'll be going back next year if it's there.
Registering early.
Yes, register early because
oh my God,
what you said it sold out in 30 minutes?
In 35 minutes, Saturday was sold out.
Yeah.
And Sunday was dwindling fast.
TAC's figured it out. They're doing a great job on promoting it, getting people there that you want to meet, getting the products there that are up to date. Every new product was there. Yeah. There wasn't one company that wasn't there that should have been. So they're doing a great job promoting that. And it seems like it's growing every year.
Everybody that we needed to see and wanted to see and talk to
was there.
Yeah, they were there.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin at the dial booth.
Oh man, that was awesome.
Yeah, I got to lean over. I got to stand over his shoulder and watch how there was a guy buying a dial proof. He was setting it up for him. I asked if I could watch. He said, absolutely, man. And he got to give me a little one-on-one lesson on how you set them up and get them dialed in from the first, second, third axis. So that was really neat. He didn't have to do that. I really liked that. I appreciated that.
And the good thing about that is to watch it and you gain a little bit of confidence because it's the way we do it here in the shop.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of the stuff he was doing to get that bow set up with the sight was exactly how we do it here. So that's another thing. I wish I could just go and watch them tune bows all day because are we missing something?
Yeah.
I don't feel like we are. I feel like we offer everything that everybody else does, but you just never know. Or hey, maybe you do it. Maybe we all end up in the same result, but in a different way. Well, is your way a little better? Would it help me? Or
right.
What? Maybe not for me, but it works.
Would it help our customer?
Yeah. Would it help the customer?
Some customers, the way they set up could be slightly different, and this way could help them. Or is there a better way to get to the same results? Mm-hmm. It's one of those. Actually, just sitting there watching, talking, doing.
It was good to see that. Like, all right, we're on the same page on what these other people are doing on the other side of the country.
Right. Yeah,
it's two completely different style of hunting. You got guys here that may never shoot over 40 yards versus guys out west that may only get 40 plus because they're in either open land or you got more visibility. But it was cool. Like at the end of the day, for the most part, you're setting up and tuning these bows the same. So it was interesting to see that. I was glad that he took the time and allowed me to sit there and watch and ask questions. And even the guy, it wasn't even his bow. I was messing with it, and I was like, "Hey man, is this yours?" I was like, "I'm not going to mess with it." He's like, "I don't care." He said, "They'll get it. They'll fix it right back." So it was cool. Everybody was on board with it. And then I think at one point we had 3 or 4 people watching it.
And that's the other thing you just hit on, the atmosphere at TAC.
Yeah.
Everybody talks to everybody. Some people say TAC is a place to take your bougie setup and go show it off.
It could be.
I saw some of that, yeah. But the other thing is, yes, the guy with the full Kuyu outfit with the UK1 arrows and the whole 9 yards would stop and say, "Hey man, how's it going? What are you shooting? What course are you shooting?" Yeah. It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter out there.
Everybody we're all on the same playing field. We're all going to shoot, and
we're all there to have a good time, learn. You know, if something bad happens, there's enough knowledge there that somebody's going to help you.
Right.
I imagine you could take a Matthews to the Hoyt tent and say, "Hey, I've had a huge issue." You know, and granted, Matthews there, you wouldn't do that anyways, but it's all about just helping each other there.
Well,
I like that.
Aaron at Gas, he said, a couple of the trailers had shut down. A guy came in and had trouble with his bow. Yeah. He used his spike press to help him out, fix his stuff up because it wasn't even strings. It was just something to do with the bow. And,
nothing major.
You know, he helped take care of it because everybody's there for everybody as a community. Yep. You know.
Yeah, I thought
no crossbows allowed. Sorry.
No crossbows there. But
sometimes you have to say that.
Yeah, no crossbows, no broadheads, nothing crazy like that. But it was a good time. I was very happy with the turnout for a Sunday with all the weather. I had a bad feeling that it was just going to run people off and it was going to be dead, but it didn't. It was actually the opposite. I think people were down. They were there for it. Like, hey, we're going to go deal with it. And being in that atmosphere, like you've got those type of people. They're okay to suffer a little bit. Mm-hmm. And be uncomfortable, but still go out and have fun.
Like sleep in the truck.
Sleeping in the truck.
Yeah. People are like, "What are you doing? You got to suffer a little bit to get what you want and to have a good time doing it." You know. But I think the results came out well. I mean, we shot well.
Yeah, I lost 4 arrows. I'm not mad about it.
I lost 4. Broke 2. Lost 2.
Yep. Same for me.
Yep.
Snapped a couple off in trees. Center punched them. Sent one into oblivion. I don't know where it's at.
The little Sasquatch target, they had this little Sasquatch target that was camouflaged into the bank. I had to use binos to see what this thing looked like.
Yeah, shout out to the employee from TAC that set up that shot. I don't know how you did it. Y'all got to pick a different target or put a collar on that guy or something, because I stood there for 5 minutes staring into the woods and I still couldn't see it. And finally, I picked it out. But then the other issue was once you drew back, you had to find it again.
Yeah.
So that was real interesting, which I guess more of a, very close to a whitetail situation.
Yeah. So I mean,
they creep in and like, oh crap, all of a sudden there's a deer in front of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a tough target to just pick up in the woods. Yeah.
It was good. I will say. I barely nicked the arm, sent it into the rocks somewhere there.
Yeah, I think I made a horrible shot on that one. I think I shot him in the hand.
Yeah, there was like pieces of my arrow everywhere because of course, right behind it was a wall of rocks.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the uphill bedded doe with the rock face behind it.
Yeah.
The turkey at 40 yards where it was just a notch in the rock.
Yeah.
And then there was, Timber. Awesome shot, dude. Awesome shot. Called it, says, "I'm going to shoot it from the cone." He jumped up there first, knocked the arrow, let it fly, and stuck the foam.
Yep.
It was 58 yards?
Yeah, it was in the 50s.
It was like mid-50s.
Yeah.
And this thing was like a full-size sheep or ram.
Yeah, full-size sheep.
And there was a rock right at the bottom of the vitals.
I mean, big rock.
A big, like from the ground up to the middle of the vitals was this huge rock. And you could see the devastating arrows everywhere.
Yeah, one of our guys shot it.
Yeah.
One of our guys shot the rock dead on. And then he shot again, and somehow he managed to wedge it in between and broke the back half of the arrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Timber steps up, slings it, hits it, and then walks off like he's been doing it his whole life. Drop the mic, look at me now. Like, it was good.
It was
good.
so good to see that though.
But he did on his last two stick arrows
Yeah, in the trees.
at about 30 feet up in the tree in the same spot. Just a group of them. So that was fun.
I'm going to shoot it again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. All right. But yeah, it was a good time. We had fun. Seemed like our whole group had fun.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for going with us. We really had a good time. I'm going to send you all the link to this just so y'all see it. And what else did we have to do? Is there anybody we needed a shout out to? Forget.
Nothing I can do.
All right. So from here, what we're going to do is I'm going to put in a couple of the local people we ran into. I did some videos with the vendors, Eric from Southeast Bow Hunter, and some of the pictures from TAC, MFJJ,
Yep,
James, stuff, Brad from Boning.
Yep.
I'm gonna throw those in here, make a little montage, let you hear from the vendors, and please sit through it and listen to what they got to say. So, anything else, Thomas?
I think that's it.
All right. Till next time, hunt safe.
We come around the corner, he walked into us. Zach, it's our everyday sportsman. Check out his channel on YouTube. It's pretty good. But come into our shop, see how things are going. What do you think of the day?
It looks like it's a mess, but I mean, should be fun.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it anyway.
What course you shooting today?
Sheep sick at 10:30.
All right. We're going out on a prime. So, well, I heard 6 is kind of tough. Everybody's been saying a whole 16.
Yeah,
So when we run into you again, we'll have to ask you about it.
yeah, I'll be sure to tell you all about it.
All right. Sounds good.
I appreciate
All right,
it.
take care.
Thanks.
Here we are, Tennessee TAC. We're with Aaron at Gas Bowstring. As you can see on the prime form here, we are running gas. So, how's it been going out here at TAC?
It's been going super well. I mean, wet and muddy, of course, but it's been super good. Done quite a few repairs and fixes, getting both people out on the course. And it's been really good. So, enjoying it, having a good time, and just been having fun being around people.
You like seeing the product coming through? How many people you seen come through with your own strings on already?
Quite a few. Like, it's been good. I mean, even if they don't have our strings on it, I mean, help anybody out and do whatever. But we've had quite a few with our strings come through, and then have people want to switch to us. So it's been a good event all around.
Well, that's great. Well, good to see Aaron here out with gas, and we're going to keep moving through and see who else we run into. Good to see you.
Yeah, good luck on.
We stopped in at Dooley Broadheads. Come over to check the guys out, carry them in our shop.
Tight spin here, and even if this wobbles around, it's all.
These are 100 grains. So there's 100 of them driving.
120s are you actually wasting the rest of the 125 goes a little unfair.
Yeah, 100 range to the 100 left sold out now online.
Which is at that point, like we put our billings over.
Running the second amendment outdoors, like up there.
Yeah, we're trying to carry a lot of the 100s right now. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to beef up and get some of the 125s in, start giving them a little bit more of a selection. That way we have more to offer from a local company. Because you guys are right out of Franklin, Tennessee, right? And everything is sourced in the U.S., made in the U.S. So you guys are tariff-free.
We welcome the tariffs.
All right. That's great. So, yeah. We'll see you there. Came over to Jack here, as you can see on our prime form. We're running the sling-a-ling ourselves. Carry him here at Second Amendment, and came to see Jeff and say, hey, how you doing?
Good to see you guys. I hope you had a great time here at TAC. This is our 8th year to do all the TACs. We love the TAC family that comes here. So if you ever get a chance to come out, you should do this. Our bow sling, it's the My Sling Ling. You guys have been carrying them in the shop for 5 or 6 years now, ever since the shop first started.
Yep.
So we really appreciate you guys carrying them. If you guys haven't ever seen them, it's a magnetic bow sling. You never take off your bow. They're worth their weight in gold out here at the TAC events. Keeps your hands free. You end up shooting a whole lot better.
And that's not the only thing they offer. They offer a lot more products. They got the Ready Ranger, your tether, your phone tether. I like that Ready Ranger.
Yep.
I've actually got one of the tethers for my rangefinder, and we got your new tree sling, right?
We do. Yeah, we just won Best New Accessory at the ATA show. It's a full series of gear to keep you organized in the saddle. tree tool belt, solid molly webbing across the front, loose webbing around so you can attach all your gear, separate strap for your backpack, the quiver caddy, silicone strap locks your quiver to the tree, that way you're not screwing anything in, the Ready Ranger, magnetic landing pad for your cell phone and rangefinder, the tethers keep all your calls and gear organized, and then the new tree talon is our weapon-mounted hanging system. It telescopes and rotates 360 degrees, so it slips into the loops onto the tree talon on the tree tool belt. So it's completely secure, completely quiet, nothing sticking out of the tree. Deer comes in, just lift it up, draw, and shoot. This is the split and bow mount. We also have mounts for rifles, crossbows, shotguns. We have a hard mount for the Matthews with their Silent Connect system. So all your weapons are nice and secure in the tree. Waterfowl hunters, a waterfowl system for hunting the flooded timber.
Any of these things you see you're interested in, we carry them as Second Amendment. We can get them for you. Just get a hold of us, and we'll get it to you. Jeff, good to see you.
Good to see you guys again. Have a great time here at TAC.
Well,
Ran into Eric, Southeast Bowhunter Podcast. We've been talking for a while, and I've been listening to your podcast for quite a bit, and I thought, you know what? We can do that too. Not like yours. Yours are doing a lot of learning, more moving on.
Yep.
We're covering everything we do with the outdoors, like rifles, fishing, archery. You know, we're doing more of a wider scope. But I will say, listening to him and seeing what he was doing is a big inspiration for us on how to move forward, and how to learn and say that we could do it. So,
Yeah, man.
appreciate
I
it.
mean, of course, dude. Anything to help. You know, we kind of in the outdoor industry for sure got to stick together. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It's always, I say it on the podcast all the time. A lot of guys that are in this, it's always a pissing contest, and I hate that.
No.
So, you know, I'm glad that I was able to help in some, form or fashion.
Give credit.
So,
Credit. Do it.
I appreciate it.
Seeing everybody helping everybody out, and we're noticing the smaller communities now, and more of the people coming up into the industry have been learning not the old ways of this is mine and I'm keeping it secret, but hey, let's share information. Now we have the podcast, we have Instagram, TikTok, YouTube,
TikTok, all of that.
so we can get the information out there and share it with others, and I think that's an important project.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know that the people I've talked to that have been willing to share, it's helped me out a lot, and I've probably name dropped a few places that guys don't like, but we had a guy from Florida 2 years ago that came up to a public land by us, and it was all because he listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, it's kind of my fault, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he had any success or anything, but I like seeing it grow. I like seeing everybody that's out here. I mean, we're seeing people we know, people we don't know, and there's even kids. There's kids. That
Oh
shoot.
yeah,
That's the important
shooting.
thing.
Women that are shooting.
Yeah.
Old, elderly people, they're younger people. It's such a mixed crowd, and it's good to see.
Yeah, I love it, man. And this bow over here. Yeah, Brian, if you're watching.
Yeah,
It's nice.
even us at
Very
Second
nice.
Amendment. Yep, running the prime form.
Yes, sir.
He left his in his car because he didn't want to get it dirty.
I did. I'm very weird about my bow right now. It's the nicest bow I've ever had, and I let my niece hold it yesterday, and I had both hands on it. I was like, "Don't you drop this
With
thing?"
a pillow, right?
No, with concrete and asphalt. So
you had a
yeah.
pillow in your hand holding underneath it, trying to give it a soft landing.
I should
No?
have. Yeah, I was playing with fire. It was fun. But yeah, man, no, it's a great bow. So I'm glad to see you shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready to lose some arrows.
And where are you shooting today?
Lacrosse.
All right.
Yeah, I heard that's the one that's the only one we could get a spot for.
Yeah.
But I also heard it's kind of the easiest as far as walking
This
goes.
place is sold out, man.
I know. We got our tickets late. We were going to do the prime course.
Yep.
But then once we went to get the tickets and stuff, it was sold out. It was either lacrosse or I think it was the kids course. So I was like, let's just go shoot 40 to 80s and see what we can do.
Yeah,
So I got 6 arrows to work with.
Yeah, me and Thomas will be shooting prime today. We're shooting at noon, so we'll get out there. We'll let you know how it is, and maybe we can get you with your bow in your hand.
Yeah. I'll probably be grabbing it soon. Sometime we got to go get some food, and then I'll
All right.
bring it.
That'd be great.
Awesome, man.
Good to see you, brother.
Yes, sir. You too.